Nobody wins when the family feels.
You hear me? The general back. All these cop ass niggas trying to be me. The niggas said they the war general. Roach, what war you been in, nigga? Ain't nobody gonna vouch for you.
Stand over game and I'm bumping that. Stand over game and I'm bumping that Drake. Nigga, a victim decided to rap.
We have the data right here from your website about DC crime. All crime up 25%, murder up 24%, motor vehicle theft up 107%. What's going on in our nation's capital?
Yeah, so when you talk about the motor vehicle thefts, again, that's one of the national issues where we see the 100 and some percent increase in crime. When you talk specifically about the violent crime, early in this year, we had a couple of cases where we saw individuals, just shooting people, shooting each other for no reason, individuals who are unable to resolve disputes. Simple arguments turned into homicides. Why? Because people have access to illegal firearms. And when they have access to illegal firearms, they use them, unfortunately.
Fam, in this video, you can consider this a profile piece. Today we talking about one of the most talked about rappers coming out of the DC area. Up and coming, 21 years old. But he been having run-ins with the law for some years now. And recently came home and said he have another opportunity to make it places he never been before with his rapping ability. You know what they say, if you living like it, the audience will gravitate to it the most. And that's no different from this rapper. And the reason we go over his story, because after coming home, him being captured was a movie in itself. A dude he was affiliated with through a big-time rapper from DC who we'll later talk about was wanted by the Secret Service for months, since managing to escape a traffic stop months prior at a local nightclub for having firearms and doing a drill. This man goes to the same nightclub months later, just 5 months to be exact, and this time he tell this rapper to come with him. Tight, now he in this mix, getting locked up because he ain't tell him he had the Secret Service on his trail for months. But that's what we got here today. And if that was confusing, don't worry. I'm going to give you guys this information in chronological order. Go over the details surrounding this case, this other man case, and where we stand today. And hopefully, this rapper can do better things to provide for his family. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. One of the most known rappers in the last 10 years from Washington, D.C., some would say is TalibanGlizzy, a man from 37th Place in Southeast DC. That neighborhood has managed to create a stronghold on the rap scene in Washington, D.C., having talents like No Savage, who's affiliated with Glizzy Gang as well, Young Jose, Baby J-Mo, 3 Osama, Gizwop, and many more. But you know how it is growing up in the trenches, fam. Each generation start their own little thing, and according to the crime today, this generation ain't doing too much listening to anybody older than them. And that's no different for Gizwop. It's now his generation turn. And they affiliated with Glizzy Gang, but they go by Fox 5, which is now, allegedly, affiliations of different neighborhoods in Washington, D.C., forming as one, a spin-off from the local news station, Fox 5. Before the recent indictments, you'll see the Fox 5 logo in the beginning of all 8 videos. Some say it's the raw lyrics from Gizwop that make the youngins gravitate to his music. With no deal, he got millions of views on YouTube.
Been out there, swerving in fast shit, playing my mirror. Let's shot from a stick at a punch of a nerve. I really get active, hop out, blowing that. This bitch ass niggas better run. Stand over game and I'm bumping that. Stand over game and I'm bumping that Drake.
And with all Gizwop had going on in DC, if you knew, you knew. And they knew he was living what he was talking about. And he repped 37 to the fullest. Even when No Savage was incarcerated, serving this time for a shooting inside of a local mall in Tyson's. He wore a Free No Savage shirt, had Free Baby J-Mo on the back. On the caption, he wrote, "Free Wop, cause a bitch nigga pulled the camera out. The real top out. Free Tall, Free SD, Free Set, Long Live Glock, Long Live Racks." Now he mentioned this in his caption because that incident with No Savage at the mall was recorded on camera from Nate alleged enemies. A neighborhood called Simple City, who is known to have a local rapper who's now incarcerated, is Active Baller, who refers to himself as Top Op, even once going to 37th in the middle of the night with cash, with a ski mask posted on their block, and having it posted by DJ Academics.
I'm the top op, no you ain't catching me locking. I stay with this Glock and my dip everywhere that I go.
You know what I'm saying? For the people that's gonna watch this joint, man, where we at with it right now?
Y'all already know y'all in the simp, man.
Okay.
My way. It's the avenue right here.
Now the crazy part about all this is that allegedly Active Baller and No Savages is cousins. But allegedly a female was involved, and that's speculation, so we won't touch on that. But that was just an example for you to see that in 37, no matter what generation got into an altercation with another hood, that beef is now inherited and it's gonna forever live on. And that was no different for Gizwop.
Acting like they ain't actors, they pretend. Bitch, I see blood, bitch, I'm a venom. I'm charging my young niggas up, you can kill it. If a nigga run up wrong, bet you I hit him. It's all about money and murder, young lady. I'ma give you a 10-piece, young nigga. What you niggas to do is don't tell on me, man. Don't tell on me. Lonely 30, man. Yeah. Lonely 30, he said it the best. Don't tell on me. Don't tell on me. Don't tell on me. You hear me?
According to the feds, Gizwop criminal history dated back in 2020. According to his PSI, on October 21st, 2020, officers were reviewing CCTV footage from his neighborhood, the apartment buildings near the 300 block of 37th Street Southeast. According to that footage, they saw someone retrieving a rifle from a bag. When officers arrived on the scene, they say Gizwop and another individual seen with the rifle fled. Officers detained the individual with the rifle in addition to Gizwop. Officers did not find the firearm on Gizwop, so he was released. But police reviewed the surveillance once more, and they found out that Gizwop was the one tossing the firearm into the wooded area behind 324 37th Place Southeast. Officers returned to the location and found the pistol. An arrest warrant for Gizwop, based on unlawful possession of a firearm, was executed on November 8, 2020. Gizwop was charged with carrying the pistol without a license. While on release in his pending case, Russell Campbell, aka Gizwop, was involved in a shooting on May 19, 2021. At 3:36 p.m., where he was shot in the chest, buttocks, and leg. 1 month later, on June 20th, 2021, while still on release in the pending gun case, in order to remain at home, Gizwop was instead at a Mobile gas station while in possession of a loaded firearm. This firearm is identified as Gun 1 in his PSI. It was linked to 2 different drive-by shootings. The first shooting occurred just 5 days prior, June 15, 2021, at the 3700 block of Hayes Street Northeast. For those who don't know, that's a neighborhood called Mayfair in Washington, D.C., known for rappers like Cruddy Murder, who's now incarcerated. According to Giz PSI, he drove by Victim 1, who was standing by his car, and shot at Victim 1 at least 12 times. Victim 1 who stated that it did not know who had shot him before being transported to the hospital. The second shooting linked to Gizwop's firearm occurred just 2 days later, on June 17, 2021. At 4401 East Street, Southeast. For those who don't know, that's the Bennett Ridge area in Southeast. The victim in this crime had reported that he was hanging out when he heard a vehicle speed up in the block, followed by 10 to 15 gunshots. Victim 2 told police it sounded like they came from an automatic rifle. The victim said he dropped to the ground, then felt that he'd been hit in the back. When Victim 2 sought treatment for a hospital, shots by the detector more than 20 gunshots. 3 days later, on June 20 of 2021, the firearm was involved in both shootings, was in Gizwop's possession. 4 months later, on October 20 of 2021, and still while under court-ordered supervision, Gizwop was involved in a shootout in his neighborhood, what they referenced to on top of the circle. The 200 block of 37th Place Southeast, as the Silver Infiniti drove south in the 200 block of 37th Place Southeast. CCTV footage showed Gizwop walking across the street to get to the circle where the vehicle was. Once in the middle of the circle, Gizwop stopped and pulled out a black handgun with an extended magazine, pointing it at the vehicle. The vehicle stopped facing northbound on 37th Place Southeast. A frame by frame of the surveillance showed the individual in the vehicle shooting first, before Gizwop immediately fired back towards the vehicle. The vehicle then fled the scene, leaving Gizwop shot in the leg. Gizwop was charged in connection with this October 20 of 2021 incident. In a second superior court case, he ultimately pled guilty to carrying a pistol without a license. In the new matter, on May 25, 2022, and in exchange, the government agreed to dismiss his then pending matter. On June 7, 2022, Gizwop was sentenced to just 6 months in incarceration, but all that time was suspended. But he had 18 months of supervised probation. But at this point, Gizwop, he getting lit in the music scene in the DMV. He also connected the Glizzy gang. But while on probation for this case, he get arrested another time. November 11, 2022, he was stopped by the Secret Service. But little did he know, they wasn't after him. They was after his affiliate, who go by the name of Trevor Wright, aka TalibanGlizzy. Because of this man's actions, for the past couple of months prior to that date, November 11, 2022, Gizwop was caught with an AK-style pistol recovered from a vehicle stop. TalibanGlizzy had hosted a local venue, which we'll later go into detail about. TalibanGlizzy was in attendance he ordered Gizwop a black truck to pull up in. That truck was seen on CCTV footage in 37 with Gizwop getting inside of it with the black duffel bag, which later played a role in his indictment. But before we continue on Gizwop PSI and how we got here, leaving Gizwop arrested and sentenced for 18 months to recently coming home, we gotta talk about his affiliate, TalibanGlizzy. Now some say he's from Maryland, but according to his recent indictment, TalibanGlizzy was the leader of Fully Gang, which authorities claim is a violent crew in Washington, D.C. According to TalibanGlizzy indictment, the Fully Gang operates in and around the Petworth area of D.C. and is engaged in narcotic trafficking as well as violent offenses, such as shootings with other opposing crews in Northwest Washington, D.C. Quote-unquote beefs with opposing crews are heightened and instigated by social media and music videos. One example authorities used in TalibanGlizzy indictment was a song he dropped called Suicide Bombers. The music video is seen dropping a chain of a person he was allegedly beefing with, and then the chain is seen to be set on fire. That chain was the chain of popular influencer / rapper from DC and Glizzy. The beef with him is strictly allegedly because he don't like Shy Glizzy anymore. The rants he been going on his platform apparently also instigating when TalibanGlizzy chain was allegedly taken by the rapper Active Baller in Miami.
With him. A couple days later, they said his chain got confiscated. I don't know.
So you deleted the number.
I don't know if he's a nigga to check in with anymore. You know?
That's not the nigga to keep you safe
You
anymore.
might have to check it with the Glizzy gang.
Yo,
The fuck away from me. I want them dead, I pay the fee, can't pay a nigga to play with me. I'm on parole probation and still got an open case, still got a.
They said it's the 1 year anniversary for my chain. Up to 40 in that motherfucker. You know what it be the kicker 2 for 2? My brother in the court building right now. If they say he released and he walk about this motherfucker, I'm telling you, today is the day, nigga.
I might let somebody wear my chain today, man. We starting the trend.
Kill, I might be Taliban today.
That might be Taliban tomorrow. Fuck it.
Fuck it, all week. All
Fuck it.
week.
We just go. It's your birthday, man. You go ahead. You the big.
Hey, look,
big
hell of
baby,
a,
right?
hell of, hey, bro, I'm telling you, bro, the real niggas love real niggas, bro. That's I just like, god damn, hell of a birthday, Slim.
Happy birthday, Slim.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Just know
Hey,
I send all my love, man. I appreciate y'all. That was, I thank y'all for the birthday cake.
Man, which one we put it in the Taliban box?
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
I'm gonna call the real Talibans, right? And make sure they get you a box. You know me?
All right. I'm gonna call the real Taliban, and I'm gonna say for one day, I'm just trying to be the king.
All right, say that. Nah, you the king for the week. You the king for the week. You gonna have the chain on.
Bet.
All right, bet.
I hit you on the back end.
Say that.
Now, as of now, TalibanGlizzy got a lot of charges, more than 2 indictments, a string of robberies at jewelry stores.
5 o'clock, 16 men from our area are facing charges in connection to crimes in 4 states.
Katie Lusso is on that story for us. And Katie, we understand these are some pretty serious allegations, from armed carjackings to even money laundering.
Yes, they certainly are. And police tonight believe this violent crime ring, as they called them, committed 9 armed robberies over the course of a year up and down the East Coast. Their target, Asian-owned jewelry stores. Violent and calculated robberies at jewelry stores up and down the East Coast. Investigators say the group would meet in D.C., choosing the roles they'd each take on, the weapons they'd carry, either guns or hammers, and which jewelry stores they'd target.
These were takeover-styled armed robberies meant to terrify and overwhelm store owners and employees.
Between January of 2022 and January of 2023, federal investigators say the group robbed Asian American-owned jewelry stores, 3 in New Jersey, 1 in Pennsylvania, 3 in Fairfax County, Virginia, and 1 in Florida.
That is 9 armed robberies of jewelry stores in 4 different states in roughly a 1-year time frame.
Investigators say the majority of getaway vehicles they used were stolen.
Last fall, some of the defendants committed a violent carjacking in Maryland, and they used the stolen vehicle as a getaway vehicle during one of the robberies.
The 16 people indicted range from 21 to 45 years old. Investigators say they found 7 guns, including a machine gun, and $300,000 in a safe when they made the arrests.
They are the calculated crime of someone who is willing to threaten a life for money or property. There will be severe consequences for such conduct.
Now, federal investigators say all of the businesses are Asian-owned, but said they are not considering hate crime charges here, saying today that they believe the suspects targeted these businesses because of the type of jewelry they were selling a type of gold that they say is apparently easier to sell. Leslie, Lorenzo?
Yeah, quite the operation there.
It
Katie,
is.
thank you.
Home invasions being set up, well, him doing the setting up with his baby mother allegedly, and the case we about to go over today, being caught with firearms and telling on himself throughout the years. According to Trevor, aka TalibanGlizzy PSI, he pled guilty on February 10, 2011 in Prince George's County, Maryland for attempt robbery. He also previously pled guilty to 2 counts of possession of controlled substance back in January of 2017. And because of those convictions, he disqualified from possession firearms. So on May 28, 2021, TalibanGlizzy had posted a story to his public Instagram account showing him shooting a fully automatic rifle at Lock and Loaded in Miami. Machine gun experience and range, located in Miami, Florida. The shooting range specialized in machine gun rentals. Law enforcement visit Locked and Loaded and reviewed the surveillance footage and copies of the contract signed by Taliban prior to his use of the firearm at the range. Now at this point, police didn't use it against him, but the following year, July 17, 2022, at around 2:14 a.m., Metropolitan Police Department had responded to a call on the 1700 block of Rhode Island Avenue in Northwest in Washington, D.C. for a report of firearms left behind in the rideshare vehicle. Upon their arrival, reporting party number 1, who was identified as the Lyft driver in Taliban indictment, reported finding numerous weapons in his vehicle that had been left behind by Lyft passengers. Subject vehicle 1, a black Chevrolet Suburban with 3 rows, was registered to the Lyft driver. But before we continue, fam, at this point, I think this driver was the Secret Service. The second row of the Suburban has what it commonly referred to as captain chairs with open rows between them. In the aisle between the captain chairs of the second row, officers recovered a pistol lying in plain view on the floor and an AR-15 style firearm that was particularly concealed inside a duffel bag, also lying on the floor between the captain's chairs. Now, because of this incident, Taliban was a wanted man, but he managed to escape. This is how the drivers say that day went. They say on July 16, 2022, at around 5:35 p.m., Taliban had ordered a Lyft under the name Stacy. It was a request to pick up about 3 to 4 males, including himself, at 515 15th Street Northwest. During the initial encounter, Taliban told the driver that he was a famous singer and had lots of money. The driver said Taliban canceled the drive right before he arrived and said he'd pay him cash to drive him around for the rest of the day, and he did just that. TalibanGlizzy was seen on surveillance coming out the hotel in the outfit he had later posted the same day with the same duffel bag that was found left in the Lyft. The driver then asked Taliban to take the bag as he opened his trunk, but Taliban said that bag stayed with him. The driver said that at each stop, Taliban and other males would get out the car, but one male would remain in the car, seated behind the driver to ensure that the driver did not unbuckle his seatbelt or leave the vehicle. The driver also said that one of the stops was 8807 East Forte Turns in Fort Washington, Maryland. Prior to Taliban and the other males getting out of the car, the driver heard inside the vehicle a sound consists of someone racking the slide of a firearm. The driver recounted that either the 11501 Williams Beans Road stop or at the 8807 East Forte Turn stop, when Taliban and other males got into the car, they rushed into the car in a hurry and yelled at the driver, "Go, go, go," or words to that effect. From that point on, the driver observed and noticed a change in Taliban and his associates' demeanor. They became hostile towards him, angry how slowly he was driving, and expressed interest in taking over the vehicle themselves to drive it away from the last location. After dropping the passengers off at the final destination, St. Ives nightclub, the driver started to move his vehicle due to the street being congested, but the driver received a phone call from the passengers or Taliban, who told the driver to stop moving the car and stay put. After dropping off the passengers to the last stop, the driver looked to the rear, noticed the firearms on the floor, and instantly called 911. At this point, it's around 2:14 a.m. Upon officers' response, they recovered inside the subject's bag an AR-15 style weapon. The rifle had been reported stolen out of Arlington County in Virginia. Behind the bag was a ghost gun, a Black 9 Glock semi-automatic pistol. The Glock had 1 round of 9mm ammunition. In the chamber, a 31 round with 31 rounds in it. The police say after the club, Taliban left in another black Suburban, but he had to know that the boys was on him. But he was playing mind games while collecting evidence because he was still taking flights And during this time, he had an altercation with his Taliban chain in Miami, where he lived with his son mother, Seven, who's a popular YouTuber. Now, we may got to do another story on that situation, because she also popped up in this indictment. Authorities talked to her, and she confirmed a couple things. And one of those things I disclosed to you guys is an incident that took place on June 6, 2020, involving Taliban and his baby mother, leaving a backpack containing a Glock 23 that was stolen, with an Instincto magazine carrying 22 rounds and $80,030 inside of the woman's bathroom of the Residence Inn at the Hotel 901 L Street Northwest. Surveillance from the hotel showed Taliban and his child's mother checking into the hotel almost a week before, May 28, 2020. Surveillance from that date of the firearm recovered shows Taliban carrying the backpack that was ultimately discovered to contain the firearm. He later seen providing the same backpack to his child's mother, who carried the backpack with her headed towards the woman's bathroom. When seen later exiting the bathroom, Taliban baby mother no longer had the backpack with her. I say all that to say this. If they mention that and she not arrested, they know a whole lot more from her. Now at this point, this is where I really need y'all to pay attention, fam. Because these shows in DC is for GizWop. I guess Taliban was his muscle at the time. He got hammed up trying to have muscle at the venue the first time. But knowing he had, Shy got another show. November 11th, 3 months later. Guess what he do? He used one of the hottest up-and-coming rappers who he can affiliate with to take that risk, not knowing that them boys just looking at him. See why I say the streets is a myth? He essentially set Gizwop up to take that chance, to give them quote-unquote protection. And at this point, fam, you gotta know the Secret Service was running everything. They knew that Taliban had ordered the Lyft for Giz. They sent their own driver. They had the driver parked directly in front of the camera up 37th, picking up Giz with the same backpack that was later found out the night they got pulled over for allegedly running the light. Who you think ran the light? Yes, the Secret Service. I think the girl they was with was also working, cause she asked to get out to use the bathroom. Giz and 2 more other people asked to get out as well. Taliban instantly ran to Chinatown Metro. He got away that night. Giz got arrested. They found the firearm and the whip as well. Now fam, this case is like anything else. I find out more as I go, and it's intriguing. There's more people telling that we can see right now. And here's a clue. This man went back to the same venue a month later. In baseball, 3 strikes you out. In Taliban case, that was the same thing for him. Shy was hosting at the same nightclub. Taliban was there, but this time he rode with Shy. Now before we continue, you guys wondering why GizWop's face is blurred out and no one else? Your guess is good as mine. Just know I didn't do it, and that's in the indictment. As they was leaving, they was pulled over. He was with the entourage of GizWop in a black Escalade. The officers conducted a traffic stop. They wasn't doing no running away. Taliban was arrested. He had a warrant in Florida, D.C., Virginia, and PA. He had $17,000 on him, a chain with a large battery pendant, diamond earrings, a Rolex watch. And on December 12, 2022, Taliban was charged by complaint with a single count for his unlawful possession of at least 2 firearms on July 17th. But Taliban was also indicted while incarcerated for a string of armed robberies of jewelry stores, the shootings that we mentioned, and him being in the gun range. Nobody knows an update on his case, and with so many cases, don't know where to start at. As for Gizwop, he managed to come home 21 years old after doing 18 months in the feds. Now, got another chance, another opportunity. For the youngins who saw this whole video, I hope y'all take this one lesson. Don't get tricked off the streets. There's more developed with Taliban case, and if you guys want more, talk to me in the comments. But this was the story of a DC rapper who was almost tricked off the streets by his own man. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.